What if the sea monsters we've always feared actually existed? Not exactly as we imagined. Not with fire-breathing jaws or the power to swallow ships whole, but something close. Stranger, realer, and possibly still out there. The most merciful thing in the world, wrote H.P. Lovecraft, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. He was talking about sea horrors, and he may have been right, because the deeper we explore Earth's oceans, the more the line between myth and reality begins to fade. We found creatures that shouldn't exist, ancient predators, trapped in stone, tentacled giants, filmed for the first time in just the last 20 years. And even now, sightings continue. Shadows in the fog, ripples with no source, creatures with no name. So maybe the stories weren't just stories, maybe they were warnings. In this video, we dive into the truth behind legendary sea monsters and uncover how some of them might never have been legends at all. And it starts in 1817, with a serpent no one could explain. The Gloucester Sea Serpent, misidentified giant. In the summer of 1817, something strange stirred the waters off Gloucester, Massachusetts. Panic swept through the harbor town. Dozens of witnesses, sailors, fishermen, even a respected militia captain, all claimed to have seen the same thing. A massive, snake-like creature. 60 feet long, dark, undulating, eerily graceful as it moved just beneath the surface. Its head, they said, looked almost horse-like. Whatever it was, it didn't just pass by. It lingered, long enough to leave a town full of seafarers, shaken, and yet no body, no bones, no proof, just stories. Stories passed along docks, printed in newspapers, whispered in taverns. So what did they really see? Modern biology offers a few unsettling explanations. The most likely, the oarfish, a deep-sea creature rarely seen alive. It can grow over 30 feet long, with a silvery, ribbon-like body that swims vertically. It's uncanny, serpentine, and to a 19th century sailor, it would have looked alien. Another theory, a pod of porpoises or seals, surfacing in perfect rhythm, enough to fool the eye, enough to turn a scattered group into a single, writhing beast. When fear sets in, the mind connects what it can't explain. And back then, marine biology was barely a concept. The ocean was a blank canvas, and monsters? They filled in the gaps. Some even speculated it was a species no one ever saw again. A one-time encounter with something lost to time. The Gloucester Sea Serpent may not have been a hoax. It may have been a real creature. Just one we didn't recognize. Or worse, one we imagined, a little too vividly. And it wouldn't be the last time sailors stared into the deep and saw something they couldn't explain. Because far north of Gloucester, the Norse had a name for what they feared: the Kraken. The Kraken and the giant squid. Long before sonar, before submarines, before science, Norse sailors told of a monster so large it could sink a ship without warning. They called it the Kraken, a creature said to rise from the deep, wrap its tentacles around wooden hulls, and drag entire vessels into the black. No one ever caught it. No one brought back proof. But the fear? That lingered for centuries. To skeptics, it was folklore. To sailors, a warning. And for good reason, because in the cold, dark depths of the ocean, something very similar does exist: the giant squid. For years, it was just a rumor, a whisper from the trenches of the sea. But its description, eerily close to the Kraken: tentacles lined with suction cups and serrated hooks, a beak capable of crushing bone, eyes the size of dinner plates, and a body stretching over 30 feet long. And yet, no one had ever filmed one alive. Until 2004. That was the moment myth met fact. A creature once dismissed as fantasy revealed itself, proving how real the impossible can be. But what's most haunting isn't just that the giant squid exists, it's that we didn't confirm it for so long. It lived in silence, in darkness, in waters we couldn't reach, and when early sailors saw flashes of it, screams, chaos, broken masts, the legend grew. The Kraken wasn't a lie, it was a magnified truth, distorted by fear, reshaped by stories, but grounded in something real. And if living monsters like this could go undetected for centuries, what else might be hiding beneath us? Not alive today, but frozen in time. Fossils and sea dragons. Long before science had a name for extinction, people were digging up monsters. In cliffsides, riverbanks, rocky hills, ancient civilizations uncovered massive bones, ribs taller than a man, jaws lined with dagger-like teeth, but without biology, without context. There was only one explanation: dragons. And to them it made sense. These weren't the remains of long-dead reptiles, they were proof, evidence of beasts that once ruled the skies and the seas. Myths weren't created to entertain, they were built to explain. Nowhere is that clearer than with the mosasaur, a marine reptile that lived over 65 million years ago. Up to 50 feet long, crocodilian skull, flippered limbs, and a tail built for speed and violence. The apex predator of its time, its fossils were first discovered in the 1700s, in the limestone quarries near Maastricht, in the Netherlands. But this was before Darwin, before evolution, before people even believed extinction was real. So when a miner unearthed its skull, what else could he think? It had to be a sea dragon. And the mosasaur wasn't alone. Across Europe and Asia, skeletons of ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, and massive marine turtles were pulled from the ground, each one stranger than the last, each one misread through the eyes of fear, religion, or myth. In hindsight, they weren't monsters. They were time travelers, clues from a world we never knew, mistaken for demons and gods, because we didn't yet have the language for prehistoric. These weren't legends born from wild imagination. They were fossils of forgotten truths. But myths didn't stop with ancient bones. Even today, the sea gives birth to stories, and some have no clear origin at all. Conclusion: sea monster myths may sound like fantasy, but they often echo something real. Fragments of misunderstood creatures, fossilized giants, deep-sea predators science has only just confirmed. For centuries, we've tried to make sense of what we didn't understand. And the ocean, dark, vast, and largely unmapped, has always been the perfect stage for that fear. We've uncovered giant squids that match ancient stories. We've found bones, mistaken for dragons. We've even filmed things that should have stayed in legend. And yet, the myths persist. Maybe it's because the ocean still hides more than it reveals. Maybe we keep seeing monsters because something out there is still watching us back. The real question isn't whether sea monsters once existed, it's whether they ever left.